So I was like, is this a sign for me to like stay with this man or what? But as I was saying, I was telling the person that it was a form of discouragement. That sometimes things, the enemy bring things to you to discourage you from doing the right thing. You see what I'm saying? So me finding out I'm pregnant at that time, I was like, is that a sign? Which it really wasn't. You know, it just was a sin. It was no sign. It was a sin. But I went on and I had the child. So when I got home, I was like, all right, so I'm not going to leave. I said, I'm going to stay around. This is a decision I made while riding home. And I was like, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go home, I'm going to talk to the father. Yeah, I'm saying father here, but I mentioned the person's name. I'm going to talk to the father, and I'm going to see how he react, because we was already at odds with one another. And I said, I'm going to see how he react, and depending on how he react, will determine whether or not I'm going to stay with him or whether I'm going to keep the baby or whatever. So I got home. When I walked in the house, there was a child in the house. I never saw this child before, and he was there babysitting the child. Now, what would you think? Now, don't get me wrong. I could babysit my girlfriend's daughter, a friend of mine's daughter, but I'm not babysitting no man's daughter. We ain't that cool where I'm babysit your child. Your child get used to me, and me and you ain't got no relationship. That ain't supposed to happen, because then you're going to get attached to me when he want to go and be with some other woman, right? So I walk in the house, and when I walks in the house, I'm like, this is some girl's child. I mean, it just came to me. And I had an idea he was messing around, but I wasn't sure. Now, here's the catch. See, that's one thing about my men that I were with that I can count on one hand, which was only 2, maybe 3, but that's the most. That I'm not a jealous woman. I do not get jealous, right? What bothers me is when I want to be loved and you're not loving me. And I will always say, this used to be my problem. You're not loving me the way I want to be loved. See, I wasn't taking in consideration that the men did not know how to love me the way I wanted to be loved, because they weren't loved the way they wanted to be loved. So how they going to transport love on me the way I should be loved if they never got love the right, quote unquote, way? So they can only love me the way that they know how, or the way that they've been taught, or the way that they've been seen, that they've been around so much, right? So, but that was my thing. But jealousy. So that was no way the same as jealousy. But for some reason, when I would respond to this gentleman hanging out, and he started doing things that he normally didn't do, it was all about me being jealous. And that will upset me, because I ain't jealous of no woman. I ain't all that pretty. I ain't all that got the best body. You see what I'm saying? And my self-esteem was very low, and that's the reason why I wasn't jealous. And I thank God for that. It had to do with God. It had to do with God. God never allowed me to get that trait or that spirit of jealousy, because of the simple fact of how I may not look like this girl that this guy I'm with want to be with. So what would bother me when my husband would be looking at other women and then look at me and say, why you don't look like that? What will bother me is that, why you wasting my time? If I don't look like that girl and that's the girl you want, then go on with that girl. Get away from me. But here's the thing. No, what happens is that guys don't want to let go that girl, that woman, that mother, that wife to be with that particular person because, just a minute, because, you don't want that kind of girl. You want me. And don't get me wrong, I'm not bragging about me. I'm just talking about the personality, the demeanor, the character of who I am. Very respectable, have respect for the man, have respect for myself, carry myself respectable, you know? Respect you as a human being as well as a man, whether you my man or not. You see what I'm saying? So this is the type of woman a man may want, right? So that woman over there that you saying that why I'm not looking like is really not the woman you want. You just want to start an argument. You just want to try to get out of me how I feel about you, when all you gotta do is just ask me. You know what I'm saying? Because I am the type of person that keeps my feelings inside. Well, I'm not gonna say in public. Once you start acting foolish with me, I could care about you, but I'm gonna keep them feelings inside because you don't deserve to get to know my feelings because you acting a fool. So you walk around here playing a guessing game when I already know the game. You know? So he walking around, the father of the pregnancy of the child that I'm carrying, he's walking around here being sneaky. Well, all you gotta do is just go. What you staying with me for? This. See, let me tell you something. When I end a relationship, I end a relationship. I don't end it because I want to get back with you. Or I don't end it because I want to make you jealous. I don't end it because I want you to miss me. No, I end it because I'm done. I'm done. And you know I'm done. Because when I left him, when I walked in there and saw that child in the room, in my living room, then now you thinking that you had a woman. That now you got me thinking that you had his mother up in my house. Because apparently it ain't your friend, like your male friend, child you babysitting. Because I ain't never met that male friend. You see what I'm saying? So now if it was a male friend, I would have met him. Because you ain't got nothing to hide. You going to bring your male friend around, let me hang out with them. But that wasn't you. You didn't bring no male friends to my house. The only male friend that came to your house, that came to our house at the time we were together, was his brother. And his brother was going out with my friend that lived downstairs in the basement. Not the basement, that lived downstairs on the first floor. So they would come to my house, and they would hang up in our house. And, you know, we would have our fun. I'll play Nintendo. Me and her play Nintendo. Moving right along for a while. So, who is this? Yo, Joe, who is this, using different names? Who's this child? Oh, that's my friend's son. Really? Well, you know what? You and your friend's son is going to get out my house. Ah, come on, Shavron. Don't come on nothing, because we ain't going nowhere. Don't come trying to play my intelligence. And you may say, oh, that was cool. He ain't had nothing to do with it. The child ain't had nothing to do with it. Well, then, you right. He ain't had nothing to do with it, so get out my house. Don't See, people try to play you with children because he knew that I loved the kids. He saw how I acted towards his twin girl. So, even though he had a lot of drama with his baby mama, you see what I'm saying? But I still allowed them kids to come in my house, and we cooked for them. We took them out. We had fun together. You see what I'm saying? I ain't disrespect his child, but that wasn't his child. So then, since it wasn't your child, he had no business in my house because it's some other woman's child. And in order for you to be bringing a child in my house, you had to be connected with the woman somehow. Fine. Y'all ain't sexing, y'all ain't talking, y'all ain't doing nothing, then the child ain't got no business here. So then, you and your friend child can leave. I say you talking to, my favorite line was, don't beat me over the head with that. Tell it to the Marines, because they got time to hear it. Okay? So, I would tell, don't be telling me all that. I don't want to hear all that. Go on. Sharon, you just want to argue, whatever. I just want to argue. Now I just want to argue. When I just went to the doctor and found out I'm pregnant by you, and I just want to argue. No, he didn't know yet. Well, did I tell him then? No, I didn't tell him. I told him when he returned back. And yes, I did let him come back after he dropped that baby off. Yes, I did. When he came back, then I told him. But in my head, I was like, I want to argue. I want to argue. And I'm here. I must have left my, oh my goodness. You mean to tell me nobody couldn't tell me I left my water? I got up off the train station and left my water. So, I'm the one who want to argue when I'm about to have a baby by you and you got another woman's child in my house. And I feel like if I had let that pass and went on in my room and closed my door, in a few more days, he would have been coming in there with that girl. That girl would have been knocking on the door to come pick up her son. Nope. I stop things before they start. Before they start. You're not coming with me with that foolishness. You're not bringing... This is how... You're not bringing that foolishness to my door. And this is how mama drama and papa dramas start. Because the woman or the man don't put a head in it. Don't kick it in the bud. Right then and there. So he was fussing whenever I'm walking back and forth in the living room to my bedroom, doing whatever I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? You can fuss all you want, dearie. You heard what I said. So if you don't want to see a side of me you never saw before, you and the child better get out. Go on. Well, where are we supposed to go? You know, the mother ain't home. The mother had to do this. I ain't got nothing to do with that. The mother had to do what she had to do. She should have made way for you to be with her son in her house. Not in mine. Nah. I did not play that. And y'all may think I was wrong. That's that's y'all opinion. That's over 30 or 40 years ago. But that's y'all opinion. I don't play. I do not play. No disrespect for me nor nobody else. Because I would have never. What I don't do, I don't allow it to be done to me. And people may say, oh, she being disrespectful, or she's not being godly, or she's not being godly. Whatever. My grandmother would say, I don't take no tea for no fever. So therefore, I don't take it neither. I don't take no foolishness. So therefore, I don't take it neither. She taught me right from wrong. She taught me how to be a wife, how to respect my elders, how to respect children, how to respect my husband, and anyone that's in need of respect. She taught me that. So now, for me to sit back and allow somebody to come in my house with another child, whether I was pregnant or not, what if my children was there? Mommy, who's this? I can hear Tandra ask me, Mommy, who this boy? And Tandra was not crazy. She would have been like, oh, that's his girlfriend's son? I didn't bring no foolishness around my children. It took him a whole 6 months to a year to be introduced to my children. 6 months to a year to sleep in my bed. So you think it's going to take you a day to bring another girl's baby, child, and put it that way because it wasn't a baby, bring another child in my house? No. Well, he got up out of there. Well, I got to go find her. Well, you go find her. You should have never left her. Yeah, you laughing, but it ain't funny. It's funny to me. It's funny to me because it don't involve me, so it's funny. You put yourself into the situation, into the equation. Now you come with what they call it, a common denominator. And once you come with the common denominator, you'll have the right answer. Because right now, I ain't giving it to you. There go the door. So he went on. He stayed real late out, whatever. And I, where I was in the front of the building. So I saw where he went. I could see from my window, from my kids' window, I can go in their room and I can see all the way down. Because I lived it on Morris Avenue and East 183rd. So 183rd was the street and Morris Avenue was like the strip. So I could see all the way down Morris Avenue. So he went walking, and then he did a sharp turn in there. And I used to see him always go in there. And I always thought it was a supermarket because it was some buildings that they had recently moved up and put in there. So I was like, I would say, I wonder what's in there. He always going in there. But I always thought that he was going in there to buy a little smoke or whatever, right? So after that happened, I went outside. Maybe a few days after that, right? And I checked it out. And there was a house up in there. Some nice houses in there. But I watched him that day. And he went walking. And he tried to play it off to stay on the other side. But then when he thought I wasn't looking, he went and crossed the street. And just before he turned in there, the girl came. And took the child, and they was there. They was there talking. He knelt down. So who knows? It could have been his child. Now I'm thinking about it, but I never really thought about it then. Because as far as he's concerned, as far as I was concerned based on what he told me, it was just he only had 2 girls. They was twins, and I met them. So he never told me he had his son or whatever. So anyway, he stayed out till early that morning, whatever. I was in the room. You know, I was up. Of course I was up. You know, doing my little sipping of drinking. And when he came back in, maybe it was about 3-4 o'clock that morning. And that's what alcohol do. Alcohol kept me up. It didn't get me drunk, and it kept me up. Now somebody else that probably got him drunk and made him sleep, but not me. So we got into an argument, and you know, I talked, and I was telling him that I was pregnant and what you want to do. So he was like, I don't know what I want to do, Sharon. I don't. And that should have been a red flag to me, right? Ding, 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 ding. It should have been a light bulb, right? Should have woke me up, brightened me up, and made me see the light, right? Nope, I was just saying in my head, no, I ain't gonna leave, I'm gonna stay. And you know, because he's father and da 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 da. But time went on and his foolishness continued. And my love was gone. And that's one thing about me. I don't stay with nobody I don't love. My husband's the only one I'm staying with. And that's because I'm saved and I love him. I'm not in love with him. Where I'm, you know that in love. So I ain't got to explain it. I love him. I have a godly love for him. I have a tolerance love for him. You know? So that's why I'm still with him. But I ain't had nothing for him. So I was like, see ya. Let him know. I went and talked to my children. The night before we was leaving, I told him I'm coming to pick you up because he was a good man. I ain't gonna lie, he was a good man. He would keep the house clean. He would cook. You know, we would have cooking battles or something like that. And he will cook some and I will cook some. You know, all right, that was good. Wait till I cook. I'ma blow you up. Blah, that type of cooking thing. And you know, we had fun together. You know, he was funny. He had a nice sense of humor. You know, he was little, he was short. I wasn't too crazy about tall guys. So he was short like me. I won't say he was the same height as me, because I'm 5'1". But he wasn't too far behind me. Maybe 5'2". Or maybe 5'1.5". And you know, we had some good times together. We had some good times together. But that time was done. You know, it was time for me to go on my way and for him to go his way. And love was gone. And I wasn't a person that too much went from man to man. You know, I would always leave a spot in between. You see what I'm saying? So, we wound up separating. I went and picked up them kids. And he knew I was leaving then when he came in and said, all right, Sharon, I'm going to go get the kids. And you know, I got this. So, why? What you talking about? You don't never get up to see. Now he waking up. Because when we had that argument that time, I told him, and I was telling him during the course of the year, that you going to wake up one morning and I'm going to be gone. Oh, Sharon, you ain't going nowhere. All right. Keep underestimating me. When you look around, me and my kids is going to be gone and going out your life of no return. He ain't believe it. So this particular afternoon, I had just gotten an argument with him the day before, and it wasn't so much an argument. That's another thing I would tell the guys. I said, when I'm arguing with you, take heed. That means I love you. But when I stop arguing, you better pay attention to that. Because that means my feelings are gone. None of the men paid attention to it. Not even my husband. But they would always say, oh, you quiet. You quiet today. But they would take it as, oh, you quiet. You're not arguing today. But that's not what it was about. Because I'm going to get my point across. So that's what makes them think I like to argue. But it was just that I'm going to get my point across. I'm gonna try to get you to understand where I'm coming from, what I'm saying. And because you don't, that's why it turns into an argument, because you can't comprehend what I'm saying. And maybe I'm not comprehending what you're saying. So I'm gonna keep going. But when I get to the point that you are not paying me no mind, even when I'm trying to explain myself, not so much as what you're doing, hanging out there all night or whatever, that just put icing on the cake. But when you feel like I'm nobody and you feel like you want to just like, you know what I'm saying? Well, I go add too. I said, talk to the kids. So the kids, mommy's coming tomorrow to pick you up from school. And when I come and pick you up, we're leaving. So make sure whatever you want, you put it in your book bag. I said, because mommy is going to come get y'all. We're not coming back in the house for nothing. And he was walking through the house. Sherrod, what you back there saying to them kids? I said, excuse you, these are my kids. I know they your kids, but they mine too. You know I love them. Well, you can love them, but now you're going to love them from a distance. What? What are you talking about? What you mean I'm going to love them from a distance? Well, you figure it out, because I already got it figured out. It'll come to you. It'll come to you in due time. Right now, I ain't explaining nothing. And that's what would make them mad, because I would start talking in riddles because of the simple fact they wasn't paying attention to me when I was talking in sentences. Right? So the next day, he was like, I'll go pick him. No, you're not. I'll go get him. Sherrod, what's so bad? I said, I don't go get him. I ain't got time to be arguing with you, man. Walked out, slammed the door. Went on. The kids saw me because they thought I was going to change my mind. That's what they thought. They thought I was so in love that I was going to be like, my oldest daughter, she's deceased now. She was like, Mommy, you know you ain't leaving. Excuse you? Okay, well, you'll find out. Really, Mommy? You'll see. I understand y'all don't believe it, because Mommy always overlook things. Mommy always accept things. Mommy love to the fullest, to the deepest of hearts. I said, but Mommy is done. And I didn't too much get into a conversation with them about him, because that wasn't right to do. I wasn't going to say nothing negative about them. About him to them. But I said, when Mommy is done, Mommy is done. And there's no coming back to that. Right? So, when they came out their doors and saw Mommy was standing there instead of him, they knew Mommy. I saw the smiles on their face. My daughter came running to me, hugged me, all of them. My son came out. He was smiling. I don't know, maybe they all was excited to leave that man. You know? I wasn't too excited because I was pregnant by him. You see what I'm saying? So now, when I left, I was big. So I must have was about three months. I must have was 3 months pregnant. Because that's usually what happens to me. I would carry my pregnancy small, right? And being that Danielle was 7 years after my last child. My last child was born 1985, and Danielle was born 1992. So, 7 years after my body. You know, it's kind of different because, you know, everything changes as you mature and change your body. So, believe it or not, I was going through menopause at 30. So, I didn't know that. You know? But, you know, so I was probably going through the change of life. And I got pregnant in there. You see what I'm saying? Because after I had her, I didn't get my period no more. But anyway, that's a story. That's another story time that I would not get so into. But anyway, so I picked them up, and I was leaving, and I had some leather gloves, some red leather gloves. And I was like, man, I left the glove. And so my daughter Tandra, the one that's dead, the one that died, she said, Mommy, you want me to go up and get it? So I thought about it. I said, all right. And I said, my son, I said, all right, Terrence, you go up with her. I said, and if you try anything, I say, you just, you know, you do what you got to do. I said, but y'all go to the window and yell out. Just yell my name, and I'll be up there. I lived it on the 6th floor. I said, okay, Mommy. My son was like, I ain't worrying about him, Mom. Don't you worry about nothing. I got this. I said, all right. So they went up there, and she looking. And she came back downstairs. She said, Mommy, I can't find it. I said, man. I said, I know he took my gloves. They were some red leather gloves. Ooh, I loved them gloves. And I only had one. So that means he took one. See how guys are? he figured that if I take one of her gloves, she'll come up. That'll give me the chance to talk with her. But I didn't trust him. I felt like if I went in the house, he was going to try to keep me in the house. Who knows what he would have did. That's what I felt in me. You know, I had a little bit of scaredness of him. So I wasn't even taking that chance with him. Like, you know, he never hit me, but you never know what people will do when you leaving them. Oh, wow, I lost a thing. I lost a thing. You never know what people will do when you leaving, what a man will do when you leaving them, right? So, and I was worried about what he may do to my kids, but he didn't do nothing because he really did love them. Especially, I sent the one up there that he liked it. My daughter could not stand him, but he was crazy about her. Like, I don't know, everybody gravitated to Sandra. They really loved her, you know. So, they came downstairs. I said, did you find it? She said, no, mommy, I didn't find it. She said, well, you just get another pair. So I'm walking. He come to the window and he yells out, yo, Shabbat! You know, you only do that in the Bronx, right? Oh, I forgot to tell you, I was living out in the Bronx. But I guess you knew it was Bronx. Morrison, East 183rd Street. But anyway, if you didn't know, it was Bronx. Yo, Shabbat! So my son laughing. I told him, I said, go see what he wants. Because I just kept walking. Shabbat, I got your gloves. I found a glove for you. Excuse me. So I yelled back. I said, keep them. So no, I didn't send my son. He said to me, he said, Mom, you want me to go back and get the glove? I said, no. I told him, I said, no. I said, because all he doing is trying to trap me, get me to come back so that he can, what's the word? So he can just slow me up, keep me from leaving. I'm going. See, now he see that I was going to leave. And he never thought I was. He even said it to me when I was leaving that day. He said, wow, I didn't believe you was going to leave. He said, I figured you had this nice apartment. Because he used to always say to me, oh, you ain't going nowhere. You just bought this and you just fixed up your apartment. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was a nice apartment. It was a it was a 3-bedroom apartment. Yep. It was a 3-bedroom apartment. Very nice. Hardwood floors. We was the first one moved in the building, me and 2 other girls. And it was a nice bathroom. The kitchen was humongous. You see what I'm saying? But it was time to go. And he was saying, you're not leaving. This is a nice apartment and stuff. You ain't gonna leave all your stuff. Let me tell you something. I left that out. I walked out and left everything. All my clothes. I had a VCR. I had all that stuff. I left it right there. The kids, the only thing that the kids took was what I packed up for them, which was hardly nothing. I didn't take anything for them. The only thing they had was their books. That's it. I didn't have nothing. They had their books. I don't even think I carried a pocketbook. There was no such thing as a cell phone back then. So I didn't have nothing. I probably did have a pocketbook because I had to have my ID and stuff. So yeah. And I went to this place that I was connected to because, you know, I was in the system for so long. So I stayed connected to the system. So there was a place that I would go to that kind of like gravitate towards women that are pregnant and having issues with their man, or they running from their man or something like that. You know, they call it battered women, like a battered women program or something like that. And I went there. So when I got there, I had already talked to the lady. The lady told me to come on. So when I got there, she asked me, did I have any clothes for them? And I said, no. So she said, is there somebody do you want the police to go with you? So I said, nah, I don't need the police. She said, if you need the police, I'll call them and they will escort you there and bring you back here. I said, no, I don't think you're going to do nothing. Even though in the back of my head, I was kind of afraid to go up in the house. But she sent me in there to get some clothes for the kids. She said, if you don't want to get nothing for yourself, it's okay, because as time go on, you'll get some clothing. He said, but at least try to pack their important stuff. Underclothes, sleeping clothes, stuff like that. A day or two, 2 days, 3 days, a week of clothes, something like that. So I did go back. I got my girlfriend, but anyway, make a long story short, yes. So I wind up having that child by myself, which is Danielle. Right. And I think I have a video where I say the day my child died, that was her. So y'all can go and check that out. So I'm about to end this, go heat up my coffee and get in my bed and relax and watch me some TV. I don't even know what that is. Blackish. I don't know, but I'm going to relax, and I'll talk to y'all later. Have a blessed day.